What's going on, guys? Wolves 2, Manchester United 1. And as you lot saw, I was at the game yesterday, so the match reaction's up a bit late. It was a mad game, innit? And before I go into like the breakdown of the game, I just want to say we did the player reviews on the United stand, and loads of people were talking a load of crap in the comments. And I don't read the comments, but Flex and them lot were telling me, let me tell you something about player ratings, yeah? Like, unless you've played football, like, you don't understand that it's pretty impossible for a player to put in a performance that's below a 4. It's pretty impossible. If you give a player a 3 in a game, yeah, for instance, if it's a defender, I'm expecting man to score an own goal or score 2 own goals and then play a man on side for a goal and you lose 3-0, blood. That's how man get 3s and 2s, innit? So when man say that 5 is your rubbish game for a player, meaning you didn't do nothing great, you didn't do nothing bad, you just had a 5 in it. That's what a 5 is. So when man see these things that man are giving man 3s and 4s and that's absolutely fucking ridiculous, bro. Like, it's ridiculous. That doesn't happen, innit? Like, if bare man are putting in 3s and 4s, yeah, you don't lose a game 2-1, innit? You get slapped 6-0, 7-0. So with that in mind, let's just get to the game, innit? From the beginning, we started well. And when I say we started well, I say we contained them. Like, the tempo wasn't usual United. It looked kind of exhibition. That's why I said it felt like a European game. A lot of people wanna take that how they want to take it. European games are usually cagey. They're not very high in tempo. English games, Premier League games are known for being very high in tempo, very end-to-end, very physical. It wasn't one of them games. It looked like a European tie. Both teams were cagey, both teams keeping the ball, not really trying to break the lines with passes, just being patient, recycling the ball. That's what the game was like, innit? So when I said that it was like a European tie, that's what I was referring it to. Nothing more than that. A lot of people wanna nitpick and chat shit in it and hear what they want to hear, but that's just the reality of it. United were very comfortable in possession without really threatening, and then I'll say 15-20 minutes in, it was the same for Wolves. Decent in possession without really threatening. The goalkeepers didn't really have much to do, and I just thought, you know what, we got 2 levels to go up, and eventually we'll up levels and we'll win the game. That's how I felt. It didn't materialize that way, and Wolves were very good. They were very good. They were compact. They passed the ball well, they kept the ball well, they got technically sound players in every position, and every man knew their job, innit? Like, my criticism, yeah, of the way we set out yesterday, like I said, that Ollie had to take the L on that for the simple fact that people can talk about tempo, intensity, yeah, the game was very reminiscent of a fucking Maureen performance. It was flat. But not just that, yeah, like, forget the personnel changes, but formation changes. Like, it was very clear from early on that we didn't have much creativity, much penetration, and it was also clear that Wolves weren't really going to hurt us. Both of the goals they scored come from mistakes, lapses in concentration, and poor defending. Like, against a Wolves team like that weren't really hurting us, like, we didn't really need 2 defensive-minded midfielders in. The whole Matic and Herrera thing wasn't really needed. Away from home against the top teams, Matic, Herrera, Pogba, like, I get it, yeah? But against a team like Wolves where it's compact and they were sitting back and we needed to break them down, someone like Mata would have done well in a game like that. Like, if I saw a Herrera, Pogba and Mata midfield with Mata at the tip of the diamond, then cool, I think that could have worked, bruv. Like, there was just nothing. There was nothing there. Matic, for me, like, he's poor. Like, a lot of you lot still defending him. I think he's shit, bruv. He doesn't offer anything. Like, his brain, cool. He's got a good footballing brain. He reads the game, but his body can't keep up with what his mind wants to do. He's slow. He's lethargic. He divers on the ball. He stutters. He doesn't quite know what he's going to do. And he can't pass, innit? Like, he can't pass. Like, he can't pass between the lines. Like, it's a very simple ball. And he's so left-footed. Like, he will do a 360 just to make a sideways pass. He's taken 4 touches there, 5 touches, round. Then he passes it out to the left. And another factor of that we were so left side dominant that all they did was they doubled up on Tony on the left, and we didn't really have anything down that side. People saying that Tony had a poor game, but every time he got the ball on the byline, Shaw didn't overlap him, so there wasn't a run. Because if you got a decoy run overlapping down the outside to come in, then it helps. But there's no run coming down the outside, so he's facing up the fullback, and then the centre backs come across the cover, and more times he had to beat 2 or 3 man to get anywhere near their box, and it wasn't good. So he was cutting back and just passing it. There was no danger. On the right hand side, Jesse, I don't know if, I thought at the beginning of the game that Jesse was playing at the top of the diamond, Rashford was on the right, Martial was on the left. Rashford kept drifting inside, Jesse kept drifting inside, so Dalot was our furthest forward on the right hand side. And because we're so left side dominant, he didn't really get the ball into feet much in the game. So I think the imbalances in our play, in our personnel in the squad showed up yesterday, because they just locked off that left hand side, and PSG done the same thing. On the right hand side, we had nothing, bruv. Do you know what I mean? And when you play that fluid system with the front three, you need to have an understanding that when Jesse comes short, Rashford has to go out wide. Rashford wasn't doing that. He didn't offer us any width. I thought Marcus was poor yesterday again, but we'll get into that a bit later. I just think that Jesse was coming back. He was doing a lot of the defensive work centrally, pressing, winning the ball. But he was very central. Marcus was very central. And because they defended so narrow, the only way to hurt them would have been going to the flanks. If you look at the goal we scored, the first time Luke Shaw went down the outside, he got an assist. The first time and the only time in 90 plus minutes where he actually went down the outside of his fullback and pulled the ball back. All game, we kept coming inside, trying to do these little intricate things and try and break these men down. They stayed compact and they stifled us, bruv. Too predictable yesterday. That's what it came down to, man. And I feel like Ollie should have changed it. Like, he waited too long. There is a pattern of him waiting till the 70th minute to make his substitutions. I think that needs to change, innit? Because if that Pereira change was made 10 minutes earlier, we probably don't concede that goal, because we looked better once we took one of the defensive-minded midfielders off and put on someone more brave that was going to try and break the lines. Don't understand why Fred didn't start. I don't know if he was injured or whatever, but Fred and McTominay not starting. Matic comes straight back in. Matic hasn't looked good since he's come back. And the Herrera, like, I don't know if he was off the pace. I didn't think he played any worse than he usually plays, to be honest. I just think that him, Martial and Jesse all looked like they were just coming back from injury. They did look like they lacked match sharpness, like, and Wolves were game in it. So first goal, like, I was sitting that side, so I saw it. I thought that we dealt with the danger. I really did, and somehow, I don't know, it looked like there was a few ricochets or something, but the finish on the turn, bruv, proper number 9 finish, innit? Like, great goal, and it was what they deserved at the time, if I'm honest. Second goal, Luke Shaw's had 2 nightmares. The first one, the ball's up, bring it down and play it out. No, he hooks it away, bruv, and with no conviction as well. He lifted it. The way he lifted it, I thought that he saw someone and he was trying to play it into someone, but he just swung a boot at it. And then second instance, you got an opportunity to atone for your errors. Just stand the man up, blood. You see, when you're the last defender, you don't dive in. You try and stay on your feet for as long as possible and just hold up the man, hold up him. Just stay with him until you get recovery. Like, he dived in and he got megged and put on his ass, bruv. It was horrible. And then for me, the goalkeeper got beat at the near post too easy. But because he made a few good saves earlier in the game, yeah, like, I can't really get onto Romero for that, even though the ball went underneath him, because if it weren't down to him, we would have probably conceded earlier on. So a lot of people thinking, right, like, oh, but Luke Shaw got an assist and that, so because he got an assist, that means he should have got a higher player rating. I thought overall, like, he didn't have a great game, and if he doesn't, if we don't concede that second goal and then we make it 1-1 in extra time, we probably win. Because as I said, football is a game of momentum, innit? Like, when you're on top, if you don't score, the other team will always get a chance. If they score, then it's panic stations. If we would have got that equaliser, Wolves wouldn't have believed, innit? So I believe that second goal killed us. So because of that, even though man got an assist, I just thought the decision making was horrible twice. And there was a few players that didn't have great games. I thought Matic was poor yesterday. I thought Smalling did well. I thought it was another, I wouldn't say it was a shaky game from Lindelof, but we're used to seeing Lindelof have flawless performances, and I don't know if he's tired or anything like that, but yesterday he made a few misplaced straight passes that you wouldn't normally associate with him, innit? So, and even the yellow card, like, it was a challenge that I thought, yo, he's got this. And then he managed to mistime it, got sent off, and then the VAR changed it. But I thought he had that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if man's timing's off. I don't know if that's fatigue. I don't know what it is. But Victor looked tired, innit? Dalot had a quiet game. Defensively, he did what was asked of him. Going forward, he didn't get much of the ball on the outside, so I can't rate him on his performance going forward, because he very rarely got the ball in an opportunity where he could isolate his fullback. I don't really remember him like standing up a player, going past them and putting a cross in. He wasn't really afforded that. Ander Herrera, again, did what he always does, breaks up the play, was composed on the ball, but offered very little in terms of breaking the lines and passing forward. You know what I mean? Matic was dead, like, gave the ball away loads, took too many touches. All the things I always criticise about him, he did. Paul Pogba, quiet game. I gave him a 5 as well, because he didn't do anything right, he didn't do anything wrong, bruv. It was just one of them games where, like, he wasn't effective, bruv. He wasn't. And the thing is, we didn't get the ball to him in the pockets where he is effective. And that was, a lot of that was down to us moving the ball slowly, and also the fact that Wolves were very, very organised, didn't it? So it was a very quiet game for him. And you could see at the beginning of the game, he played more advanced in this game than he usually has. He has been sitting back, but with Matic coming back in the team, he was able to play higher up the park, but we simply couldn't get him the ball. And it wasn't a good performance from him. So, like, it was one of them ones where, because he's like our talisman, he had the armband on, every time he has a quiet-ish game, like, that will be the focal point for people, innit? Because he's supposed to be our star man. So them man think that even when our team plays shit, he's supposed to win games for us. I don't think that, innit? I'm realistic in the fact that, like, nobody played well yesterday. No one. Martial was quiet. Again, he was doubled up on. He looked half a yard, like, off the pace. So did Jesse. Marcus Rashford was terrible, blood. And when I've criticised him in the past, because I like him, yeah, and obviously he's a homegrown player, a lot of you guys are like, oh, leave Rashi alone, he's only young and this, that and the other. But the reason why I have to get onto man is because, well, a lot of these English players, the same with Luke Shaw, like, man just like to overhype them, innit? Marcus Rashford's a decent player, innit? Like I always said, him and Jesse, yeah, these men are squad players if we want to get back to where we need to be. When they gave him the number 10 shirt, like, and it's here, there'll be a video somewhere, I said it was a massive mistake, bruv. I said it was wrong, bruv, because he's not that. Like, he's not a Manchester United level number 10, bro. Like, when I was growing up here and I saw proper number 10s, yeah, like, those are the numbers that Ronaldinho wore, Maradona wore, like Messi wears. Those are elite level numbers, blood. He's not a Manchester United level number 10, blood. He's not. Do you know what I'm saying? Them kind of players, you're supposed to have like your Griezmanns and them man wearing them shirts at your club, not Marcus Rashford's, innit? And that's not a disrespect to him, because I'm sure that it wasn't his idea. But I just think, I've always said he's not a striker. My friends have argued with me and said, oh, of course Rashford's a striker, he's not a winger. But he's not a striker, bro. And let me tell you why he's not a striker. When you're a striker, you know how to receive the ball, innit? Marcus Rashford gets bullied up front because he can't hold the ball. And yes, he is lightweight, but if you're a proper striker, one of the first things you learn, yeah, is how to receive the ball back to goal, bruv. He can't do it. Lukaku can't do it either, but the difference is because Lukaku's so big, he doesn't really have to have the right body shape. He can rely on just being strong enough to kind of hold people. Marcus don't have that strength. If you look at people like Luis Suarez, Carlos Tevez, Aguero, these guys are small players. They're small. They're probably the same weight as Marcus, but the difference is they know how to use their body when they're shielding the ball, and they know how to feel for their man behind them, receive the ball, keep it outside, do you know what I mean, and roll man and bring man in. Rashford don't know how to do that. He tries the little first touch, play, spin, run in behind, blood. Like, that's amateur stuff. That is amateur stuff, bruv. Like, being a top striker, you need to be able to play back to goal, and you need to be able to hold the ball. Sometimes you need to hold the ball and wait for man to join into you. Like, and when I say hold the ball, I don't mean kick it down the line and run away from everyone and then you have to beat a man and you're dribbling, holding it. That's not it, bro. Like, with all the attributes he's got, I think he'll be a top winger. Like, if he's playing on the right wing, because he likes going past players. He's always trying little nutmegs and tricks to go past people down the outside. And I honestly think that he could be a great right winger. But for me, he's not a striker, bruv, because he gets bullied. Yesterday, them man were just old man in him, nudging the back. Marcus is off balance, loses the ball. And same thing happened against PSG and a lot of other top clubs. Like, if he comes up against a physical defender, his feathers get ruffled mad easy, blood. And there was someone on the fan cam that was like, yo, Marcus Rashford's a League 2 player and all that. That's nonsense, isn't it? Obviously, that's an older gentleman and he is used to the old-fashioned target men kind of Alan Shearer, Chris Sutton, brutish kind of centre forwards that solely hold the ball and pin defenders. Football's changed, innit? Like, them man there do exist. Like, a Giroud is probably the most 21st century version of that, and he's very good at that job. Rashford's not that kind of player. However, his hold-up play is simply not good enough. This is big man football, blood. He's 21 years old, a man getting dashed around like a ragdoll, fam. Like, and it's not great. Like, that was a game for Lukaku, games like that, when we can't break them down because the intricate football's not working and we just need to put crosses in and get man ruffled, innit? That was a game for Lukaku. That was a game for a more direct approach when the build-up play wasn't working. So that has always been my criticism of Rashi, apart from the fact that he's touch and go in front of goal. And also, I think that's because he's not a natural striker. When he grew up in the academy, man wasn't playing up front all the time. Like, he wasn't doing what Mason is doing now, bagging bare goals in the academy, what Giuseppe Rossi was doing, Ebanks Blake was doing. Like, even Makeda and them, man, like, them guys were bagging goals in the resis. Marcus wasn't bagging goals in the resis like that. Like, he was very much circumstances that thrust him into the limelight with the Midtjylland game and then the brace against Arsenal. Like, it was very much circumstances, because Will Keane was ahead of him in the pecking order and he got injured as well, or else Keane would have been promoted ahead of him. We had James Wilson as well that was ahead of him, went out on loan, it didn't quite work for him, and Wilson's just an old-fashioned, like, Michael Owen-esque finisher. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I think we've got ahead of ourselves with Rashi, innit? Like, obviously there's like Mbappe comparisons and all that. That's all gas, innit? Like, the football brain thing is the reason why Mbappe is just better than man. Like, because of football IQ. Like, Rashi's football IQ and his cuteness, it's not there, innit? What Rashi gives you is he's a willing runner and he'll just see space and run into it. But there's not much thought that goes into it. Whereas with Jesse, it's the opposite. Jesse's not as physically gifted as Marcus, or technically gifted in terms of doing tricks, but his brain, he knows where to be. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, at the moment, we've got loads of man in the squad that are good, but these men are not taking us to the next level good, innit? Marcus Rashford's never going to be Wayne Rooney, blood. He's not. Like, Wayne Rooney got to a top level in football, innit? Marcus Rashford's not going to ever be that for me. Like, some of you might disagree, and leave your comments below. If you do, that's fine. But he's never going to be elite for me, because I think the thing that elite footballers have, yeah, as well as like technical ability, is they have this, bro. Like, I was having a conversation in a group chat. Ryan Giggs, Philip Lahm, Bastian Schweinsteiger, Javier Zanetti, Dani Alves, Francesco Totti. All of these men reinvented themselves in football and prolonged their careers to play near enough into their 40s, bruv, because their football IQ was next level. Zizou wasn't an amazing athlete, bruv, but at 34 years old, man are getting player of the tournaments and stuff like that at international level. Because these men have this. Zidane didn't have pace and he played on the left wing for Real Madrid, blood. Do you understand? The levels. Philip Lahm was a fullback, a marauding fullback, turned into a DM and prolonged his career. Giggs changed into a centre midfielder. Bastian Schweinsteiger was a winger that used to go past man and then converted into a CDM. You can do that when you got football IQ. The reason why Wazza couldn't do the whole striker drop off into midfield is because he didn't read the game well, and technically, like, his close control and his reading of the game and spatial awareness weren't good enough, and he used to get pickpocketed in there. But these are elite level men we're talking about. Like, if you don't have that football IQ, yeah, there's only so far man can go. Like, as soon as Rooney lost his legs Like, he was a fraction of the player he was, bruv. Like, the decline in his career was ridiculous, innit? And I just think that Rashi is literally 100% physical attributes. That's what he is. Like, I think the mental side of the game, he lacks in it. And that's why he'll never go to the next level. And that's not a criticism. That's just a fair observation of why man's wearing our number 10 shirt. But if we're trying to get to challenging to win the Premier League and challenging for all the honours, man can't be, we can't be relying on man. We can't. Same goes for Rom. Can't be relying on man. I think we need an upgrade in quality. Same, we can't be relying on Jesse. These men are good. They can still play 25-30 games a season, but I think them man can't be our nucleus, innit? Like, they can't. And if they are, we're always going to come up short. We're always going to be below City. And we'll just be on par or just behind Liverpool, blood. If that's what we've got. So, as I said, PSG game, Rashi didn't play well. But again, it was his shot, that thing he spilled, and then also he scored the pen. So man overlooked that. Crystal Palace game, he was poor. Yesterday he was poor again, and I think he's been poor for 4 or 5 games. I don't know if it's fatigue, but honestly, I think we're just seeing the limitations of certain men. I think Ollie's ran them into the ground and done us very well to get to where we are. But I just hope that these men are not getting knackered now and they're not kind of tailing off at the business end of the season, because that would be very unfortunate. I'm not saying we are. Let me know if you think that that might be a factor. I'm not saying we are, because I think that we're going to be okay. I think that the international break is going to be good. I think a certain man are not injured, but we're going to rest them. We'll come back, and I think we need to make a statement against Watford, because if we don't slap Watford, beat them and beat them convincingly at home, I think that there's going to be a few rumbles, a few man questioning Ollie, which I'm not. But there's going to be a few doubters, innit? So I don't doubt Ollie. I'm not overreacting. It was a poor result. Rashford took his goal very well, by the way. Like, the ball in from Luke Shaw drilled across the floor. Rashford took it on the turn, finished it like a proper striker, brother. It was an elite level finish. But other than that, again, nothing. Didn't offer anything. And yeah, I'm just not worried, guys. Not at the moment. There was a lot of overreaction. Loads of people like, oh, Ollie's at the wheel's falling off. I don't think so, blood. What I think is we needed this break. 2 L's in a row is going to test character. Like, as Ollie said, we didn't play shit against Arsenal. Like, they got very lucky. Like, our goalkeeper didn't make any saves that game and he conceded 2 goals. Their goalkeeper was their man of the match. The goalkeeper and the woodwork were their man of the match. On another day, if Lukaku scores the chance that he hit the bar with before they got that Bug Xhaka goal, we win that game 3-0 comfortably, because Arsenal weren't dangerous in that game at all. Like, possession doesn't mean anything. Second half, we were all over them. So I'm not worried. That was one bad performance, but worst performance under Ollie. But it's how we react from that, guys. Let me know if you're worried. I absolutely am not, man. And I think everyone needs to just put it into perspective. We've done well to be back in a position where man are challenging for top 3 when we were 2 points off 8th in the league when he took over. I said I'd rather win the Arsenal game than win the Champions League game against Paris, because I genuinely believe that we ain't winning the Champions League, blood. I don't see us getting past Barcelona, and I would have rather the 3 points at Arsenal gone out to them, man, because top 4 is a priority for me. Same goes with the FA Cup. We're out of it. I'm disappointed, because I think that was our only genuine chance of silverware. But at the same time, if it means that we can focus solely on the league now, really, then it is what it fucking is, bruv. Because we just need to finish in the top 4, invest in the summer, bring in 3-4 man, get a few man out, give Ollie a full pre-season with these guys, then we can get excited. So overall, like, I would just say don't panic. Right, and that was your match review there. Usually I pick out players, but I can't pick out any standout performances. I think it's a fucking waste of time, to be honest, guys. So make sure you smash that like button, keep it interactive, jump in the comment section, tell me how you saw the game, how you're feeling about us going out. Me personally, I ain't too bothered. Like, obviously I wanted a trophy, but we have to prioritize top 4, and I think that not being in that cup competition could give us the edge, bruv. It could give us the edge, man. So let me know about that, as usual, in the comment section, in the description even. I got your discount code as well for your clothes, blood. I'm gonna keep dropping that in there for you. Loads of you lot buying stuff. and sending me messages saying you like your gear and that. As I said, bruv, if I get anything and I can plug you lot in, then I'm gonna plug you in. Make sure you follow the socials. I had some donut making like fan accounts and fake accounts of me adding up people and that. There's one official Instagram. My Twitter's verified, my Facebook's verified, my Instagram will be verified soon. I've only got one official page. So if you're seeing any other pages floating about, apart from the one that you see me doing Insta stories on or whatever, fucking ignore that, innit? But I always say it's been emotional, but this time it actually has been extremely emotional, guys. But big up yourselves, man, and I'll see you, man, in the comment section.